Running a Fever, Episode 8, Weight, Hydration, and Long Underwear. Hello, Day 8, Running a Fever, runningafever.com, Episode 8. A little bit earlier today as I leave the house, checked out of work early. I've got to meet some friends tonight, so I wanted to get my work in. So I worked through lunch, and then I've managed to meet them a little bit later in order to do that, which is great because now I can get my work in, and I find that I'm looking forward to it, and I'm enjoying it. I'm glad to be moving ahead, moving forward, making progress. Yesterday I ran for a minute. I have figured out how to get all my stats, so if I don't mention them in the podcast, you can get them at the website runningafever.com. Each post will have the stats for that day, including my weight and the distance, how long I ran for, heart rates, all of that stuff. I'm putting that in those stats in every episode in the show notes, which are also just blog entries if you're not familiar with that. So check that out. And you can also leave comments, and I really appreciate your comments because I want the show to be good. I'm mainly doing it for myself, but I wanted to share this journey with other people, and I would like to know your experiences and if you're, having similar experiences. Anyway, get right into this. Another thing that is going on is I recognize that one of the things that's interesting is that that I use that whole physics. I talked about the physics technical aspect. Force times distance is work, right? So the number of work you do is measured in calories, etc. So because I'm overweight, I do more work than most people. So I burn more calories just by moving around because I've got to move more weight around, which is ironic. But I'm not, I've got that whole metabolism thing going on with the sedentary lifestyle, so I'm hoping that exercising will improve that. But it's difficult, and also there's the idea of injury is there because of just putting more stress on my feet, ankles, shins, everything that's supporting my suspension system, right? If you use the metaphor of a car, the suspension system, the heavier the car, the stronger the suspension has to be. And if you don't have that matchup, then you're going to possibly cause some damage. So that's another aspect of it. I need to lose weight, and today I've kind of got back on my diet. I always say I've never stopped trying to lose weight, but I really kind of do because I go back into my old eating habits. But today, I was on a liquid diet, which is basically like a meal replacement shake that I eat for lunch or drink for lunch. I know that that's not healthy for the long term, probably does not have the nutrition required to support the kind of exercise that I want to do. But combined with the calories I'm burning doing the exercise and the low calorie intake, I think is going to just improve my health dramatically because the less weight I have on me, the better I'll feel, the less chance of injury I'll have. And I'm really looking forward to that as I try to improve my running skills. So you can imagine if you're a normal weight person, suppose you're my height, 5'11", and you're 180 pounds. Imagine carrying a 90-pound barbell everywhere you go. That's what I'm doing. And when I run, I carry that barbell as well. 90-pound backpack, if you're a former Marine or some kind of infantry, army. can hopefully see what I mean there. Weight loss is not, and it's not just because I want to look good, because I'm 51. How good am I gonna look? It's it's because I really want to be healthy, and I want this running thing to work, and I think that's going to improve it a bit if I can just get some weight off initially to help sort of jumpstart the process and also help me keep going by preventing injury. Time to get out on this trail. Howdy. I mentioned hydration along the way, and I have just hydrated on the way here. Moved up to 20 ounces before the walk and run, and I did do my 40 ounces last night after the run. Didn't do a very good cool down. I just wanted to get some stuff. It's Sunday, and I try to do a lot of my podcast production work on the weekends. It's not quite 4 o'clock. It's like 3:45 right now. And so I expect a lot less traffic on the trail. Sunny and very nice temperature, probably 60, somewhere in the 60s maybe. I'm supposed to get up in the 60s today. And it's nearing the peak of the temperature for the day. Feeling pretty good. I had some back pain yesterday at the end of the run. It's windy. I got a feeling that's going to affect the sound here. But not as windy as it has been. I forgot to go to the place to get into a different part of the course. I guess I was just concentrating on getting this workout in before tonight. I have a rough idea where it is, so I think I could probably get there next time. Tomorrow, hopefully, we'll be exploring a new part of the course here at Lake Fayetteville. And I realize that I'm going to have to extend my distances. I'm not sure how I'm going to work that out. For one thing, I need more steps. I'm still not getting, yesterday I think I had less than 6,000 steps. Granted, it wasn't a normal work day, but I don't move around much when I work anyway. Some days I've had 7,000, including the workout. I need to increase my steps, and if I'm going to reach my goal of 11.5 miles, if I'm going to reach my goal of 11.5 miles, 2 laps around the course here, by the end of next year, well, I'm going to have to gradually increase until I'm at that level. Now, I don't know if I can actually do that. Let's say I was able to run 5 miles an hour. It'll still be a couple hours. I think I can maybe get up to 6 miles an hour. I don't know. That'd probably be the best I could do at this point in my life. But we'll see. I'm not putting any limits on. So the good thing is that I'm going to need to walk regardless. Walking is the warm-up. I know a couple of runners. I've been thinking about it. I know a guy at work who runs. I know another guy, a local priest. Not so local anymore, but I can get in touch with him. Maybe have an interview with them at some point, who run, and I can probably ask them about their warm-ups. Because those guys both have been running for a very long time. Let's see, yesterday I did the warm-up that I'd read about, and then I did the strides, which I basically just took long strides leading up to when I took off on my 1-minute run. I think I've done the math properly to figure out that if I do just keep on increasing my runs by 15 seconds a day, then that'll be enough. I think I'll be able to, maybe bump that up eventually. Once I start running longer distances, 15 seconds won't be that big of a deal. I may start looking, I think maybe once I get up to 1/4 mile or 1/2 mile, then I can start looking to distance. At the end of the walk now, slowing down to cool down. I'm trying to say earlier, I did run for that 1.25 minutes, and it seemed okay. Actually, here's the thing, after about a minute, I started to feel better. So starting to ramp up, and that's good. Don't want to get discouraged by that initial difficulty. Slack off. And mental, the mental aspect of this whole thing is hugely important, I think. I wanted to also mention that I wasn't feeling that well today. I had, the typical like sneezing, runny nose stuff that could be allergic, could be cold. You don't really know. I didn't check my temperature, but I didn't feel like I had a fever. But I wasn't feeling very good most of the day, and I didn't let that stop me. And I came out and ran and exercised, and I felt better. I actually feel better for having done it. So there you go. Push through. I'm definitely not an Iron Man. Not the kind of guy who works through sickness and always shows up for everything, even if he's sick. It's not me. But today, pretty good workout. Of course, we're always talking about the other things outside of the running that I need to do. Hydration is a big part of that. I did drink 20 ounces before I came out today. That was a good idea, but especially since like yesterday, it wasn't that big a deal because it was cooler and I wasn't sweating as much. Today, I'm definitely thirsty, and I drank the 20 ounces before on the way here. I started before and then just took it out to the car with me. And I wish now that I had, brought an extra bottle along to be here when I got done with my run, because I'm very thirsty now. And it didn't bother me at all having that 20 ounces in my stomach while I was running, which is another thing I was concerned about. So if you're kind of new to doing things right with exercise, like I am, other than just sort of the tips that you pick up along the way, I'm trying to be very careful about safety and health while I'm doing this, and not just going out and doing it pell-mell or willy-nilly, as Jerry Seinfeld might say. I actually went farther today. I've been saying further. I'm trying to correct my English there, because I am a graduate of an English program. I went farther today, and I did not take a picture of the mile marker, which I want to do every time I go farther. I am, in effect, going further, too, in my exercise program, but farther in terms of distance. So I did not take that picture, but I went almost another quarter mile out, which should add almost a half mile to my distance. Now that I've figured out how to get my stats from the workout watch Gear Fit that I wear, I don't have to worry too much about calculating my distance. There does seem to be a lot of math involved in exercise, though, and having a serious exercise program. And I don't think I'm too bad about it, but you can be the judge of that. I've tried to do a lot of ciphering, as one of my friends like to say, on the podcast, so you can probably figure out if numbers in my head are good or bad. But it's pretty good. I figured out how to get the stats, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put those stats in every blog post. If I don't mention them on the podcast, you can go to runningafever.com, and for each podcast there's a blog post that includes show notes, and it talks about just a short, paragraph or two about the topics that I discussed and how my run went. And then there's all the stats will be down there at the bottom. So you'll have heart rate, my weight, distance, steps, and that sort of thing. Going forward, I'm going to have that in every blog post. If I don't mention, I'm not going to be able to mention all my stats in the podcast because I don't know. I don't know exactly how far I ran today. I don't know what my heart rates were. I could probably get these by looking at the Gear Fit while I'm working out, but maybe I'll develop that skill over time. But that's going to be a pretty good way, and I'm going to have a spreadsheet. I might be able to put that on the site at some point. But for now, at least you'll have them, and, we can track my progress together by looking at the blog posts. So overall, pretty good. I felt like I did some pretty good progress considering I was kind of sick today. Went farther. My pace wasn't as quick as it has been. Like the last two workouts have not been as quick, but fairly steady, having the same problem that I usually have after the run portion. I don't keep up my pace as well as I do prior to the run portion. But I did run more, I walked farther, and I felt pretty good. Gonna go hydrate now and forward to the next workout. And you guys keep the fever.